Hello everybody and welcome to today's edition of the Shulchan chapter 182, Simon Kuf Pei Base, Hichas Geneva Utzela, laws concerning theft and robbery. At Ligzol or Lignov, Afilu Kol Shehu Ben Misrael Ben Migoy. It's forbidden to rob or steal even an article of trivial value from a Jew or from a non-Jew. It's recorded in the Tanit Devei Eliyahu in chapter 15. It happened that a man told me, Eliyahu, that he had wronged a non-Jew in measuring dates that he sold him. Thereafter he bought oil with all that money, and the jug broke and the oil spilled. I said, blessed the omnipotent that shows no favoritism. The Torah says, do not cheat your fellow, no rob him. Leviticus 19:13. And robbery of a non-Jew also constitutes robbery. Number 2, taking a thing of such trivial value that no one would mind, like taking a splinter from a bundle of wood, in order to use that the toothpick is permitted. However, it is an act of piousness to refrain from this as well. Number 3, even stealing with the intention of returning it, but just for the sake of annoying someone or to tease someone is also forbidden. Number 4, it's forbidden to cheat your fellow even in the slightest degree, as it is said, do not cheat your neighbor. In Leviticus 25:50. What is cheating? If your neighbor's money comes into your possession with his consent, for example, if he lent you money, or you owe wages or rent, and you do not wish to pay him, or you put him off by saying go and return later, since the verse says your Jewish neighbor, it is not forbidden to do so with a non-Jew. This is true only if it will not cause the name of God to be desecrated. For example, if you borrowed from a non-Jew and he died, it is permitted to deny the loan to his son, because he does not know for sure that you are lying. However, if the non-Jew knows you are lying, it's forbidden because of the desecration of God's name. And even if the son is not sure, it's only permitted to deny a loan or any other such debt that you owed him. If you have in your possession an article you received from a non-Jew which is intact, you're forbidden to deny it, for it constitutes actual robbery. Moreover, even if you buy something from a non-Jew, you're forbidden to fool him in counting out the money, as it is said, and he shall reckon with his buyer, which refers to a non-Jew, for he is only conveying the article to you in consideration of the sum agreed upon, and if you fool him in payment, return by stealing the article and not merely denying a debt, which is permitted in a situation that will not cause profanity of God's name. That's from the Mark 348 too. Even deception, not involving any monetary loss, is forbidden in business dealing, as it was explained in chapter 63. Nevertheless, if a non-Jew makes a mistake, he is permitted to benefit from it, provided there will be no desecration of God's name. For example, in such a case where he remains unaware of his mistake, it is best to say to him, I am relying on your estimate of your bill. I am relying on your estimate or your bill. Number 5, if you covet the house or vessel of your neighbor, or anything which your neighbor has no intention of selling, and you ask his friends to influence him, or if you yourself pressure him until he agrees to sell it to you, you have violated the injunction you should not covet. Exodus 20:14. From the moment that you attempted and began to think how you acquire this item, you have violated the command you should not desire. In Deuteronomy 5:18. For desire is only the heart, and desire leads one to covet. If you ultimately buy that which you had desired, you will have transgressed 2 negative commands. That is why it is said, you should not covet and you should not desire. These are 2 separate negative commands. Number 6, the robber is enjoined by a positive command to return a stolen article if it is in its original state and has not been altered. As it is said, he shall return that which he robbed in Leviticus 5:23. The same law applies to a thief. The robber, the gazlan, steals openly in the presence of others. The thief, ganav, steals when no one is looking. This obligation cannot be fulfilled merely with the return of money to the owner, even when he had already given up hope of getting it back. However, if the stolen article was lost or altered in such a way that it cannot be restored to its original state, or was stung into a building, and it will cause him a great loss to tear down the building, the obligation may be fulfilled by paying the sum of money equivalent to its worth at the time of the robbery. If the victim of the robbery is in another town, the robber is not required to send the money to him, but he should notify him to come and get it. If the victim died, the robber must pay constitution. I've lost the place here, 1 second. Where was I? If the victim died, the robber must pay the restitution to his heirs. Number 7, he who robs the public, such as a shopkeeper who gives a short measure or weighs with a short weight or the like, or a public official is leaning towards his relatives and exacting towards others, and one who took usury from the public will find it difficult to repent adequately. Therefore, he should establish a community service so that his victims too might benefit from them. Nevertheless, if the identity of his victims are known to him, he is obligated to make restitution, and he does not fulfill this obligation merely by contributing to a public service. Number 8, it's forbidden to buy from a thief or robber any article that was stolen or robbed. There's no difference if he is a Jew or non-Jew, for the non-Jew is also commanded not to steal or rob even from another non-Jew. And this is one of the 7 precepts which they have been commanded. It is a serious sin to buy from a thief or a robber, for in doing so you are abetting evildoers. With reference to this, it is said, he who is a partner with a thief hates his own soul. Proverbs 29:24, and he causes the thief to commit other acts of stealing, but if you find no buyer, he will not steal. Although it is possible for the thief to take the stolen article to a place where he is not known, this of course is not always available to him. If the buyer's intention is for the owner's benefit, in order to restore it to him, upon payment of the money he advanced, it is permissible, provided it is impossible for the owner himself to recover it. It is also forbidden to accept for safekeeping anything which appears to be stolen. Number 9, it's forbidden to derive the slightest benefit from property that was stolen or robbed while it's in the possession of the thief or robber. Even a trivial benefit that its owner would not mind, so as exchanging the money for an equal amount of another denomination, is forbidden in the case of money that was stolen or robbed. It is also forbidden to enter a stolen house, to protect yourself from the hot sun or from the rain, or to pass through a stolen field. Number 10, it's forbidden to derive benefit from the possession of one who is a known thief or robber, who has no other occupation, and whose entire property is presumed to have been acquired by theft or robbery, and a poor man is forbidden to accept charity from him. Number 11, similarly, it's forbidden to buy something from someone who wishes to sell an article that apparently has been stolen, when fruit watchmen sell fruit in a secluded spot, or when a salesman conceals the merchandise he's trying to sell, or when he says to the buyer, hide it. It's forbidden to buy something from a woman when there is a reason to suspect that she is selling it without her husband's consent, or to buy woman's jewelry or clothing from a man when there is reason to suspect that he is selling them without his wife's consent. Number 12, if you inadvertently exchange coats at a wedding hall or another public place, and you are not allowed to use these items that came to your possession and are not yours. When the rightful owner appears to you, you must return it to him, even if yours had been lost there. Also, in the case of a commercial launderer, gave you someone else's garment, you're forbidden to wear it, but must return it to its rightful owner, even though yours was lost. However, if the article was with you so long that it is impossible that the owner did not inquire after things during this time, then you are permitted to wear it, for you may assume that the loaner satisfied the owner and paid for this garment. Number 13, it's forbidden to use anything belonging to your fellow without his knowledge. Even if you are certain when the owner finds out he will be happy and later they use it because of his good feelings towards you, nevertheless it is forbidden. Therefore, if you enter an orchard or garden belonging to your neighbour, it's forbidden to pluck fruit without the owner's knowledge, even though the owner of the orchard and the owner of the garden is truly a dear, cherished friend, and will certainly be happy and elated when finding out that you enjoyed his fruit. Nevertheless, since at the present time he knows nothing of this, you are enjoying it unlawfully. And that's been touched with above Mitzvah 22a, 358.1. It is necessary to warn the public regarding this, for they break this rule for lack of knowledge. Number 14. However, it is permitted for a member of your household to give a slice of bread to a poor man, or to the owner's friend's son without his knowledge, for this is customary among people, and this is not considered something done without the owner's knowledge, since it is customary, and the owner is aware of this custom. For this reason, it is permitted to accept charity from women, if it is a small contribution, even without her husband's knowledge, since this is the general custom, and the husbands are aware of this custom. Also, with regard to an orchard, if you are generally accustomed to eat this food with the owner's knowledge, you are permitted to do so even without his knowledge. And so it is in all similar cases. Number 15, if you find fruit on the road underneath a tree that overhangs the road, if it is a type of fruit that usually falls from the tree and becomes spoiled after falling, or even if it does not become spoiled, but most people who pass by are non-Jews, or if it is a type of fruit that animals are accustomed to eat, the animals do pass by, it may be assumed that the owner has already abandoned his ownership and is permitted to take them. However, if it is fruit that does not become spoiled by the fall, and if most of the people passing by are Jews, it's forbidden to take them because it is considered robbery. If the fruit belongs to minor orphans, it's forbidden to take them in any case because owners cannot waive their rights of ownership. And number 16, the law of existing government must be recognized as a law in civil matters. This too applies to laws that are designed for the benefit of the government or of its citizens. However, it does not apply to laws of inheritance or similar circumstances relative to individual and family obligation. That's from the Mark 369:11. Thank you for listening and all the best. Bye.